We moved into the house on Elder Pine Road in early September. The town was small, the kind with a post office, one diner, and a general store that sold both lawnmowers and milk. My daughter, Lily, was 7 at the time. Quiet, imaginative, the type who always had her nose in a book or talked to dolls like they were royalty. After the move, she didn't complain once. Not about leaving her school, her friends, or even her room with the wallpaper she loved. She only asked one thing: can I go play at the park? The town had a little playground, just a rusty slide, a seesaw, and a pair of swings hung from crooked chains. We went there the first afternoon. I sat on a bench with my coffee while Lily climbed the jungle gym, and that's when I first saw her. A little girl in a white dress. She stood at the edge of the woods behind the park, just far enough to be hidden in shadow, pale, barefoot, with long black hair that tangled down her back. She didn't move, didn't blink, just stared. I looked away for a second, just a second, and when I looked back, she was gone. That night Lily was quiet at dinner. I asked how the park was. "It was good," she said. "I made a friend." I smiled. "That's great. What's her name?" Lily looked up at me, chewing slowly, then said, too casually, "She says she doesn't remember." I froze. Something in her tone was wrong. Not scared. Not lying. Just flat. Like she was repeating what she'd been told. I brushed it off. New town. Imagination. That's what kids do. But the next morning, I found muddy footprints in Lily's room. Small. Barefoot. Leading from the open window to the foot of her bed. That day, I locked every window before we left for the park. I told Lily to stay where I could see her. She nodded and ran to the swings. She stopped halfway, turned around, and said, "She told me something." "Who?" I asked. "My friend. She said I should never tell you her name. If I do, you'll take her away." I blinked. "Lily, is this friend real?" She nodded again, but slower this time. "She used to have a mommy, but she said her mommy forgot her, and that made her really mad. That night, Lily woke me up at 2:00 a.m. She was standing at my bedside, holding her doll. "She wants to play a game," she whispered. "Honey, it's the middle of the night. She says it has to be now. She's only strong when it's dark." I tried to lead her back to bed, but she pulled away and walked into the bathroom. She stood in front of the mirror. The light was off. I turned it on. She screamed. "No, you'll scare her away." She turned off the light and whispered into the mirror, "One for me, one for you, one to see what's truly true." Then she started laughing. I swear to God it wasn't Lily's laugh. The next morning, Lily had scratch marks on her back, thin parallel lines. I thought it was the cat, but we don't have a cat. She also stopped eating, just pushed food around her plate and whispered to her doll. She called the doll Mira. We'd never bought a doll named Mira. That night, I went to her room after she fell asleep. The doll was gone. Instead, sitting in the middle of the room, was the girl in the white dress. I froze. But when I flipped the light on, nothing. No one. Just Lily, fast asleep. And muddy footprints, again. I spoke to an old woman next door, Mrs. Gladwell. She'd lived on Elder Pine Road since the 1960s. When I mentioned Lily's friend, her expression went blank. "Does she wear a white dress?" I nodded. Mrs. Gladwell stared at her tea. "That child's name was Emily. She died 30 years ago, got lost in those woods behind the park. They never found her body. She had a mother who swore she still heard her voice. Said she'd come back." I asked, "What happened to the mother?" Hung herself in the attic, she said. People say she still waits there, waiting for someone else to forget. Lily was getting worse. She didn't speak to me anymore, only whispered to Mira. One night I caught her staring at me from her doorway at 3:00 a.m., just standing there, smiling. When I approached her, she said, "She says you're going to leave me, like her mommy did." "I would never leave you, Lily." That's what her mommy said too, right before she forgot her. She turned and walked back to bed, dragging her fingers along the wall as she went. The next morning, my phone had no photos of Lily. All gone. I started hearing whispers, coming from the vents, the closets, the mirror. One night, I opened Lily's closet and saw the little girl in white, kneeling in the corner. She looked up, eyes pitch black, and whispered, "It's okay if you forget her. I'll remember her for you." The doors slammed shut. Lily screamed. I packed the car. We were leaving. I didn't care where, but Lily wouldn't come. She sat on the floor holding that horrible doll. "She says I can't go, not unless you stay too." "Who says that?" I shouted. "Emily. She says one of us has to stay. She says the rules are rules." I grabbed her, carried her to the front door. She fought me the whole way, screaming, "She'll be lonely. She'll be lonely." The lights blew out, doors slammed shut, and a voice, clear and cold, spoke from behind me. "You forgot her. Now she remembers you. I live alone now. People ask about Lily. I tell them she's with her grandmother. There are no photos, no records, no birth certificate. Sometimes I dream about a little girl in white, standing in the trees, holding hands with my daughter. Sometimes I wake up and hear a lullaby from the bathroom mirror. And every morning, on the hallway, muddy, barefoot footprints leading into Lily's old room.